What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Here we go. Episode number 135 of the Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper is here. I'm Rob Jenners. That, of course, is 7-time NBA champion and worldwide quitter, Robert Ory. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just going to bag on you so much, though, for walking out on that show, man, for World's Toughest. It's, you know what? Every week we watch that show, and it's just, man, it gets worse and worse.
Oh,
I guess worse. Like, I can't blame you for walking out on that show because after what we saw last night with people getting punched in the face, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I wanted to do that part so bad.
What are you talking about? You wanted to do that
fight.
part.
Who can reach me? I'm 6'10".
Oh, that's
Nobody
true. You got reach.
Me.
Yeah, you do got reach.
Hey,
Yeah.
my reach would have been nice, you know.
Maybe Dez. Maybe Dez could have.
Yeah. I don't think they'll pair me and Dez up again, but knowing them, you know, you can't have two brothers fighting. He could have paired us up again.
It's just not good for appearances on national television.
He had to have black on white crime.
Yeah, black crime or white crime. Yeah, exactly right. You know, that show's getting out of control. Tough.
Yeah.
But here we are, yet another week, and no guests from World Toughest Test. Nobody wants to come on the show and hang out with us.
If you see, everybody on the show has gone on to do another Fox show. You know, they're doing...
Well, I like Sandoval was on, what the hell else was he on? Masked Singer or something like that.
Singer.
Yeah, he did something else, like either before or after.
He's on Masked Singer. Neil is having a baby. Jack is chasing ghosts.
Well, he's been doing that for a minute. Yeah, Jack's been doing that show for a couple years now.
Dez is still throwing up.
Man, first you get him kicked off the show, and then you crap on him on the podcast. Man.
I'm texting Dez right now. I'm gonna text Dez right now. See if he can come on the show.
Are you gonna try and get Dez on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can say. So
you got to apologize to him?
Yeah, I'm apologize to him.
You apologize for getting him thrown off of a television show on national television in front of a national audience. That's nice of you. By the way, speaking of troublemakers, do we want to start with? I mean, we got a lot of stuff to do this week. A bunch of good stuff this week. You want to start with Dillon Brooks? Even though I get
do we have to?
I get kind of tired of it. I guess my question was, so he got bounced the other night for the groin shot that he gave to, and I remember who he gave, Daniel Theis. Why are you doing this in a preseason game, man? Like,
because he's an idiot, he wants to.
If you want to play dirty, you want to scrap, you want to throw the occasional elbow or take a cheap shot or something, you do it when it counts, right? Like,
I didn't know he had a nickname, Dillon the Villain. I didn't know that was what they called him.
Oh,
he gave himself that nickname.
Did he really?
I would assume. I don't know for sure. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with him. He wants to make a name for himself in this league so bad. He wants to be Patrick Beverly. He wants to be Marcus Smart.
100%.
He wants to be all of those type of guys to main. Right.
Yes.
And he wants to be relevant. And he's trying his hardest to do so, not realizing that, at least with those guys, it's somewhat organic. But with him, bruh, not only are you trying too hard, people really do dislike you.
I'm going to take up for him on this one because I don't think he was trying to do that intentionally. Because sometimes when you see, like, if you see a guy look at him and then he does the uppercut, I think he was just trying to feel. That's what you do. You feel for a screen when a tall guy comes and you feel. I'm going to take up for him on this. I don't think he tried to punch him in the ding or nuts or whatever it may be. So I'm because there's so many times that the first thing they tell you when you set in the screen is to protect yourself. But nowadays, these guys want to put their arms up. And you think about this, little guys right there in your groin section. If you don't want to have no kids, go right and expose yourself like that. So I'm taking up for Dillon.
Is that why every time a guy sets a screen, he does it with his hands down here, like protecting?
Yes,
like,
you're protecting your balls, man.
Because you don't junk? Is that why you set a screen that way?
Yes, you're supposed to. And, because guards, sometimes you get a lot of guards, they just try to run through you.
Yeah.
And if you protect yourself, you're gonna be bleeding, or you're gonna be sore, or you ain't gonna have no kids.
Hope he's not bleeding. Jesus, that's aggressive. The only thing about it was that they reviewed it and they looked at it and then they threw him out.
I still don't. I looked at it over and over. I'm like, I didn't see anything. I've seen worse that they don't even call. So
this is true.
Yeah,
this is true. All right. Well, I just wanted to throw that out there because it seems to be the one big story coming out of preseason right now.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Oh,
well, it's not the only story. It's like, well, Christian Wood and Giannis trying to start a little.
I was going to ask you about the Lakers Bucks. Yeah, Lakers Bucks. There's a few things. You go ahead. Start with that.
No, it was just funny that Christian Wood was like, "Yo, don't be tagging me when you blocking my shot." Now I'm circling the date. So it's just always fun to see things like that. But I ain't gonna lie. For the minute we saw him, Dame and Giannis together, they look good. They look good together.
How much did you watch that whole game, or bits and pieces?
First quarter.
First quarter. Well, that's about all you really need to watch, I guess, of a preseason game. What did you think of the Dame Giannis look? I mean, we got a short glimpse of it, but
it's always fresh. It's things are always good. You think about it, a marriage is always good in the first 5-6 months. But can you make it past that half of a year point? And so for me, I'm thinking right now, it's just preseason. They're still trying to figure some kinks out. Once the games start counting and something is put out there, like a little adversity is put out there, how they react to that. So I'm still, like mostly all these teams, you're just waiting to see what's going to happen. And that's all you can do and hope that it works out if you're Milwaukee, and hope that it doesn't work out if you're the rest of the league.
Especially the Eastern Conference. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna work out. Don't even worry about it.
I do want to see it in a full game. It's like it's nice to get a glimpse of it, but I want to see it. I want to see it run for 4 quarters. Especially when you start getting into substitutions and changing the lineup around those guys and stuff. I'm anxious to see how that comes together.
But they have I think you're talking about two guys who are not very high maintenance, are not selfish, who both have the same agenda and they want to win and know what they have to do in order to do so. So I think you got two guys whose personalities are coming together like, we're going to make this work because the end goal is we want to win. Giannis, I want to win again. And Dame is, I want that feeling for the first time. Yeah. And so we're going to make this work. And I think when you have those type of guys bringing them together and their star power together on any and every level, they'll find a way to make it work out. I just believe that they will.
Yeah.
They better hope so.
Well, Milwaukee went all in with this one. So they really need – they don't want to say they need it to work, but they really need it to work. All right. Anything else for the preseason that you guys want to jump on before we move on to some of the other stuff on the sheet today? Because, I haven't seen a ton. So.
I ain't watched none at all between being disappointed with our Braves run.
Well, that's a whole.
And football ain't been much preseason of basketball being watched on my end.
Yeah.
Well, there are no unbeatens left in football right now, so right.
Oh, that's it, man. Niners lost. Yeah. Eagles lost. Eagles lost to the Jets. Oh.
Now, well, I'll say this. That Jets defense gave them all that they could handle.
Oh, they did? No, the Jets defense played well.
I think people forget that the Jets defense is one of the top defenses in the league. And
yes, because it's the Jets. Because they're cursed. They're always going to be. There's Jets shirts that say JETS, just end the suffering. Like they know they're cursed.
Well, it wasn't no suffering on Sunday.
No. Just. And then the Niners lost.
Thank God.
Just missed that damn field goal at the end of the game.
And I laughed.
I'm sure you did. My wife broke a television. So, it's just, you never thought you were going to get this far into the NFL season without every now and then you have a team that goes like 8-0, 9-0. But, more or less, nobody makes it through unless you're the Patriots or the Dolphins unscathed through a football season.
I don't know. I think the Eagles last year made it to 9-0.
Yeah, I think it was like week 9 or 10.
Yeah, they were undefeated.
But occasionally you get those. You get those little runs. But yeah, no one's going to get through unscathed. I wanted to talk about Jason Tatum a little bit. Not for bad reasons, no. He was featured in an interview this week with Complex Sports, and he gave his top 5 scorers in the league, besides himself, because he considers himself in the top 5 scorers in the league.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His other top 4, and I want to see if you guys just get thoughts on these. Kyrie, Durant, Paul George, Devin Booker, and Jason Tatum is his top. This is what Jason thinks are the top 5 scorers in the league.
The similarity with those are, and it's funny, we talked about Paul George a long time ago. Those guys are pure scorers.
Yep.
They are pure, I mean, the purest form of scorers you can think of. Not saying they don't do any other things, but when you're talking about being able, the ability to score the basketball off on different levels, off the 4 or 5 levels that you can score. Yeah, all those guys can do it.
I can't believe he didn't put Steph on that list.
Yeah, Steph. There's a number of people that were left off that people took. Of course, the internet takes exception with everything.
But the crazy part is, it's more than just that's his top 5. To me, there's about 20 scores. You got Shea you can throw in there. You got Giannis you can throw in there. It's so many guys. I think
Harden,
you probably like
Luka,
per
Dame.
shooters.
Now,
if you just go by per shooters, out of that whole group, I like Booker the best because he's just a flat out per shooter. But if I had to pick out of those 5, I'm taking KD. I think KD out of his 5, to me, him and Kyrie are the top 2. Paul George, I'm holding off on Paul George because to see how he comes back from injury. But, you got to go by the proof in the pudding. Those guys have done it on the floor for right now, and Paul George is just hurt. So I love Paul George. I want him to come back and do a lot, but not just against the Lakers. But, those are my KD's just a beast because he's like 7 feet tall doing it.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is, you said these were his top scorers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. and you could have gone some other directions with that. But the one thing that I see similar with all those guys that he named, when you look at every level of being able to score, layup, mid-range, three-pointer, posting up, ISO, all of those guys that he named can do all of those things. Every single one of them. Every guy that he just named can do every one of those different level of being able to score. Steph,
shooter.
I don't see Steph post up a lot.
Well, I don't see Booker post up a lot.
You're right, but I at least out of those 5 things that I named, Booker can do 4 of them.
Yeah. I think Steph can do all those too.
I don't see Steph post up much,
but I don't see Booker post up much. Well,
so what about Luka too? And I know he hasn't quite hit the level of some of these other guys quite yet, but I see Luka.
He don't shoot like them guys. He don't shoot.
Yeah,
like
I
those
guess maybe that's his only takeaway. But I see him do a lot of stuff scoring the basketball, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Luka is a scorer, but I don't think he's as fluid as a scorer as those guys that he named. Those guys are very, very, very fluid scorers. They're high percentage pretty much on every level.
Yeah, I see what
you see what I'm saying?
They're a little bit smoother with their shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
every level of the game.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, I love when the internet takes exception, though. Was there anybody else that was left off that list, though, that you thought? Because I put down Shea, obviously, because he's been doing it more recently. But like Ant-Man even isn't on this list, but I don't know he's quite to that level yet.
But you know who's creeping up on that list and nobody talks about? Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell. You know why? I just think because Cleveland, I don't know.
Cleveland rocks? Or Cleveland sucks?
Yeah. No, like they haven't made a lot of noise even with him there. They kind of caught a run there. Was it not last season, the season before? And then they just kind of, fizzled a little bit. I think that they're going to need to make a little noise with Donovan there before he starts to get more of that attention. Let's go best players by position as we start to look ahead to the season. We had some fan polling here. I want to see if you guys agree with some of this stuff. We had Fadeaway World did a fan poll of best players by position. They gave the top 3. So top 3 point guards. Number 1 was Luka. 32.4 points per game, 8.6 boards, 8 assists. This is averages from last year. Number 2 was Steph, 29.4 points, Number 3 was Dame, 32.2. Those were your top 3 point guards. Anybody not make that list that you think deserved to at least be in the conversation?
Shea.
But is Shea better than any of those 3?
I think about it. It depends on the night. Now, I think Shea is just come on. But it's like you think about it. Like Shea has to be, you have to. I put him right there with Luka and Dame. He doesn't shoot like Steph. To me, is on a whole nother level because the way he shoots the ball is unreal. But I put Luka and Shea and Dame all in the same basket. And that's because Shea is because he's in OKC. It's a terrible market. He just doesn't get the shine like he should. And it's just man, that dude can flat out play, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I still see Shea as dynamic as he is. I still see him as more of a up and comer in a sense, where these other guys are more mainstays.
Yeah,
where each and every night you're gonna get it from these guys. Like Dayton, you finna get it from these guys each and every night.
I feel that way about Shea too, though. I think think about it. When's the last time you watched an OKC game?
Oh, God, I couldn't even tell you.
See, and that's my point.
But I've seen lots of Shea highlights. But I mean, that's about it. The extent of what I've seen from Shea has been on SportsCenter.
Yeah,
and I'm not ashamed to admit that. I have not sat and watched a Thunder game, and I can't tell you how long.
And we're not even talking about Kyrie. It's like, come on, Kyrie and Dame. It's like it's a toss up with them too. Kyrie and Luka. It's a toss up. And so there's two. It's like when you make these lists, to me, it's too hard because you're gonna leave someone off. You're gonna piss someone off.
Well, of course, that's the whole point. Yeah, otherwise we don't have anything to talk about. Yeah.
But like you like every week your list will probably change if you, especially during the season, because someone's gonna go on a hot streak.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Let's look at shooting guards at the 2. Number 1 obviously was Booker. I think that's pretty fair. 27.8 was his average last year, points per game. Number 2 was Ant-Man. So Ant-Man's making the list, just shy of 25 points a game. And then Donovan Mitchell, Spider, 28.3 points a game last season. Those were your top 3 shooting guards that came in. I think those are all.
I get confused with who's a shooting guard, who's a damn.
And that's part of the problem too. Is like where do some of these people fall? Because we got LeBron on here as a 3. And it's I mean,
he had played 3 in the last 5 years.
I'm gonna say, when's the last time you really felt like LeBron was playing the 3? So your small forwards basically they just became like top 15 players in the league right now. Small forwards, your top 3 were Tatum, LeBron, and Jimmy. I think that's pretty fair.
See, I thought Jimmy was a 2 guard.
And that's the other problem is where do these guys go most of the time? You don't even know. There is no real position anymore. You know what I mean? You've said that. It's positionless basketball a lot of times.
Yeah.
These guys float.
It just depends on who's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Who's on first?
Yeah. Who are we matching up against? Your power forwards, your top 4s were Giannis, KD, and Anthony Davis.
I think that's the most lock.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody else that can even really be in that conversation unless you're playing LeBron at the 4.
Unless you talking about, what do you bring to the table as a power forward? You think about what Draymond does for that team in Golden State. He makes that team go. He makes them a playoff team. He makes them a team that's winning championships. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how you look at it. But other power forwards, and I always thought Bam was a power forward. I guess he's a center now.
Count him as a center.
I thought AD was a center, but now he's a power forward.
I've always counted AD as a center.
I think everywhere AD is. AD's a power forward. I mean, you can play him at the center.
Oh, I know, but I think it's just because he's so damn big. Like, your instinct is to go.
He didn't line up as a power forward at not one point last year.
Right, he didn't. But that's because
lack of depth.
Yeah, I mean,
you really didn't have a lot of other options. I mean,
even when he was in New Orleans, he was a power forward.
Yeah, that's because he had Boogie next to him.
Right. I think he's a natural power forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's just a natural big power forward, because power forwards and centers do basically the same thing now.
They do.
Well, in the league,
if this was the 90s, between the 90s and 2000, he would be like, okay, you're power forward, because they had bigs as power forward and they had another big body next to him. So
Did you ever consider to bring back a debate from probably 5 years ago that set the internet on fire? Did you ever consider Tim Duncan a 4 or 5? Because Shaq threw elbows at everybody saying Tim Duncan was a 4.
He was a 4 when he played alongside David
Robinson.
But here's the funny thing is it's the same thing that's going on with AD. But at least back then you could put like Nazi. There's so many guys he put next to Tim that they started off the game at the 5, but Tim ended the game at the 5 because he had the mismatch. So it's hard with Tim. But if I had to say a power forward, Tim would be a power forward because his whole career he was at that position. You know, he started the games at that position, and some games he finished at the position. But you know, he's a power forward because of the position. I give him power forward. I will agree with Shaq on this.
Yeah, Shaq used to scream and yell. Don't Tim Duncan's a 4. I don't want to hear it. All right, and then your top-rated centers coming in, obviously Jokic, Embiid, and Bam. They had Bam as your number 3 at 5. So
who's name another center?
I was thinking about that when I was typing this up. I'm like, true centers.
Lopez,
maybe. True centers don't. I mean, we've talked about that for a long time. You just don't really have them anymore. You used to build around them, and it's just not that league.
Yeah, I don't think there's
just not a lot of them.
I'm trying to see. Like, is there not another one?
If
Capella?
like a center, my boy in Chicago, my boy up in New York, the guy in New Orleans. We forget the dude from the Stifle Tower. Who else? That's about it. They have true centers, I think. You know,
it's not really built that way anymore. You know, the league's just not built around them. God, you just don't have a lot.
Hey, I bet you when Cat see this list, he gonna be mad.
Oh, hell yeah,
he's the best. He's the best shooting power forward in the game.
Well, this is a fan poll. So.
Are you talking about Carl Anthony?
Yeah.
I don't know why I see him as well. I guess then if I say that, then that kind of goes back on the AD thing.
I know. You know, it's some Kentucky guys. They don't know what the hell they doing.
What about what's his name that's there that says center?
That's where?
In Minnesota. He started the whole COVID thing.
Stifle Tower?
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert.
But no, he's in where the hell is he now?
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, he's in Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
he was in Utah
Utah
when the whole COVID thing started.
Yeah, Utah gave up everything.
That's right.
I mean, Minnesota gave up everything to go get it.
I forgot about DeAndre Ayton.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about Ayton. I didn't even think about that.
He's still very young and still. I guess it's kind of like he's restarting now.
Yeah, new organization, new team, all that stuff. Yeah, DeAndre Ayton though. Yeah, another true center probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not a lot of them though. Short list.
Not a lot.
Short list. Do you think we're going to see Klay Thompson in free agency?
No.
I think so.
I don't think so.
It seems like it's leaning that way, especially after the stuff he was posting on Instagram.
Be
against the world. So. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man.
The reason I think so is just the fact that he's had so many injuries. He doesn't move as well as he used to. Even though he's still a great player, I think, Golden State's going to look at their bench and what they have and look at that salary that they have because they know number 1, right? Or number 2.
Oh, I think they were number. I think they were number 1 by a ways, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a business decision. It's nothing against Klay. I'm sure they love him. They're going to talk to him and say, "We just can't afford you no more." It happens in this league. Because he's going to think about it. Did Draymond sign his new deal?
Yeah.
See, and that's going to hurt Klay right there because Draymond signed his new deal. Even though it might be some loyalty in sports, I don't know, and I hope so. I hope Klay can, retire there and be, a warrior for life. But I just don't think, on the business side of it, they're going to say we can't afford you no more. For the money you're going to demand, the output is not going to match the money. So,
I don't know.
See, I think Golden State. Because we thought Draymond was going to end up hitting free agency.
And I was just thinking the same thing. If you think that somebody's going to walk away from that team, they're going to let somebody walk. I would see them letting Draymond Green walk before they let Klay Thompson.
I see them letting Klay walk for Draymond.
Really?
Because Draymond is really the engine of that team. He makes them go. Everybody needs someone with a little nasty on their team to cause some controversy, to punch somebody in the mouth. And that's Draymond. And that's kind of missing in this league. Yeah. And I know, and I know Klay is a part of the Splash Brothers. He's part of the dynasty, but it's the little things that mean so much. And Draymond brings so many of those little things. The reason I feel like they had to keep him, because if they get rid of Draymond, no bigs are going to go play there. They're not going to have, and it's just the system that they have is perfect for Draymond and perfect for that crew.
I think they find a way to keep Klay there, because I think they're one of the organizations where, you talk about the Splash Brothers, where they've thrived off having both of those guys in their backcourt, and those two guys are the biggest part of their success. Obviously, Steph being the greatest shooter of all time, Klay being right there behind him. And I think they realize that he's meant too much to this organization, means too much to this fan base for them to see him walk out the door. I think they figure it out and they get it done.
But here's one of the key things that we're forgetting. Bob Myers is gone.
That's true.
And that was kind of like their go-to GM. Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that he's gone and, was it Dunleavy now?
Yeah, I think it's Dunleavy. Yeah.
So I don't think Dunleavy, he's going to think the big picture. He's going to think corporate, try to make ownership, happy and going in that way. But, I don't know how close Klay is with ownership. And those are all things that play into a part of this situation too. So this is going to be an interesting one, because are you going to be a team salivating to get Klay on your team? Because he's going to be in his 15th year or 12th year or something like that? Yeah. So it's like, okay, it's going to be a head scratcher.
I think too, when you have new management, mm-hmm. they're going to look at it a little more objectively than, like you said, with Bob Myers there. And they're going to probably take a look at this thing and say, well, how long do we try to hold on to what got us 4 titles? How long can that work for us before it hamstrings our budget to the point where we have no bench, or we have to move guys, or we got to cut salary, mm-hmm. or trade some guys for salary dumps and that kind of thing? How long can you hold on to that in hopes that it gets you another title?
And also, when is the development of our younger guys can come into play? That's the thing now. We got to develop our younger guys for the future. So,
well, if you're spending all your money on 3-4 guys, how do you do that? That's tough. Like you said, I'm with you. I think it's gonna be really interesting. Yeah, I feel like Klay thinks he's gonna hit free agency, just the way he's been posting lately.
I think,
but that might just be
a ploy.
Yeah, you know how guys get too. They get in their feelings if they don't get their contract right away when they're eligible. It's like, I'm being disrespected. You know what I mean? It's like. Probably not the case, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. Today in nerd history, before we get to a big shot of the week in the game, the date is October 17th, 2023. It is the day that Tony Stark sacrificed himself to save the Earth. This is the day of the Avengers Endgame battle in the MCU. So I just figured I'd mention that because I'm a nerd. So that's this week's. What you have the number one. Hey, I got the Infinity Gauntlet behind me. That is this week in nerd history.
And so it's like you have to. It's these movies. What I love them. There's so many little Easter eggs in them, and so many little things you have to watch it over and over.
Yeah. Marvel though, I'm enjoying the hell out of Loki. Season 2 of Loki's great.
I haven't started yet. I got to get a bunch in the queue.
I'm just so off Marvel right now, and I don't know why. I just am. Like, nothing's connecting anymore. It was like, man, that's what made it good. All the movies, everything connected. Now it's just like,
Have you seen the trailer for the Marvels?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. With all 3 of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I thought there's Secret Invasion was kind of going to roll into something. So
I thought it was supposed to roll into that. I thought it was supposed to roll right into Marvels.
So I'm like, okay, but maybe they're not showing us something. So I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway. All right, let's give out Big Shot of the Week. We'll play this week's game. And we have, by the way, a shoot-around. You get a bonus episode coming out on Friday, so if you have a question for the show and you want to get it in, BigShotBobPod at Gmail, Instagram, Twitter, all the places you can find us at BigShotBobPod. Big Shot of the Week this week is going to go, once again, to a guy we've given it to before, to Floyd Money Mayweather. He has a private jet. It just touched down in Israel. It's loaded with over 5,000 pounds of supplies for Israeli citizens and military. It had 100 boxes of needed supplies. It was loaded, and I saw the pictures, floor to ceiling. Like you could barely get a person onto that damn thing. He said, fill that thing up and take it. They had to fly from L.A. to New York City to London and then land in Tel Aviv in the middle of what effectively is a war. But he made it happen. He's load that plane up and get it to where it needs to go. And this is the second time, by the way, we've had a Floyd Money Mayweather Big Shot of the Week. So of all the controversy we've ever talked about Floyd Mayweather and all the shit talking and everything else that comes with Floyd, that's twice that he's caught me off guard and been like, damn, look at him doing good by the world. So big shot.
A really big shot.
Yeah, look. Amongst all the other, like you talked about the flash and the glitz and the glam, which, that's anybody with the name Floyd Money Mayweather, that's what you're going to expect. Yeah. But, there are a lot of things that we probably don't even know about that he's done. And a lot of these individuals who we hear a lot about in the public, we don't know what doesn't make headlines. We don't know a lot of the good things that they've done that doesn't make headlines. There may be only a few things, Rob, you and I, and Rob, you played with a guy with Shaq. We know a lot of things that he's done, great things, but there are a lot of things that he's done that are great that we don't know as well. Probably more that we don't know than what we do know.
Yeah, tons more. Yeah.
So I think, you got to take what you see in the headlines sometimes with a grain of salt and realize that sometimes everything is not what it always seems to be and everything is not in its totality, because a lot of these guys do a lot with their money outside of just buying stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always said about, ESPN they have a tendency to, do these stories on a lot of athletes. Do these stories on those athletes, like not the big athletes. I know Money Mayweather is on a whole nother level, but there's so many other athletes who give their time and their money to the community that's not on this stage, Yeah. So, but this though is think about this. Big ups to him, big shots to those pilots too, who are willing to do that for him. So, this is really a big shout out to everybody that's involved in this whole thing, because, we talked about it on the last show about what's going on. Yeah.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But I mean, the fact that he said, whatever we have to do to get this stuff there, we're going to do. Because, I mean, that's usually a good place for anybody to go, all right, well, this is going to be too much. I can't really get this together. We don't need to go ahead. He said, nope. What we got to do? Whatever we got to do. But like you said, to both of your points, there's something cool about people who use their celebrity for the right reasons, and we always focus on the wrong stuff because that's how the media churns and that's how the media machine works. So that's why I like doing Big Shot of the Week. I think you should pitch Big Shot of the Week to ESPN. Robert Horry brings you a Big Shot of the Week every week and just highlights somebody that's doing some good stuff in sports, because it's not even just athletes. I mean, hell, it's like actors and, people all that just use their celebrity for the right reasons. The one that we were just talking about, Marvel, the one that always sticks out to me is Tom Holland, who will put on the full Spider-Man getup and go to and spend the whole damn day at a children's hospital. No media, no press, no pictures. I'm going to spend the whole day at a children's hospital dressed like Spider-Man because it's going to make those kids happy.
Yeah, John Cena.
John Cena is a saint, by the way. He has granted more wishes for the Make-A-Wish Foundation than anybody, it was like 350 or something. It's not even close how many other people have done, and they've done great work. But yeah, John Cena, perfect example of a guy who uses celebrity for all the right reasons. So that's why we do Big Shot of the Week. That's why we like it. All right, we're going to play Shot Clock this week. Do you guys remember how Shot Clock works?
Yep.
This week's game, I give you all a topic. You got to bet against each other about how many answers you can pull out in 10 seconds. Rob's giggling already because I don't know. I don't think he likes this game. But
because this is more like a strategy game, man.
It is a strategy game, but it's fun. I get a lot of people that reach out and say they really like Shot Clock. I mean, Black Crime, White Crime, Walmart or Waffle House. Those are like the big headline staples. Shot clock does real well. People really like it.
I like shot clock.
Also, a note real quick before we start the game, and I didn't know this. Apparently, and I don't know what the hell happened, last week's Tuesday show didn't go out to the world.
Didn't?
No, I've posted it, reposted it, taken it down, put it back up. I can't get the Tuesday show from last week to go out. So it went from last week's shoot-around to the previous week's shoot-around. And I'm like, so if you missed last week's Tuesday show, it may just show up randomly one day, and in like a month or two, it'll just decide it wants to post. But we played the NBA emoji game last week. I may have to go back and we might double game it this week. We're going to play shot clock, and then I might pull the emoji game from last Tuesday's show because it was hilarious. And it never went out to the freaking world. So stick around after shot clock. I'm going to give you the emoji game from last week, so you get to at least hear the game from last week's show. I don't know why the hell it did that, but Caleb reached out. He's like, "Are you guys getting shadow banned?" I was like, we might be. I mean, if someone put Gilbert Arenas in charge of Apple Podcasts, maybe we are. maybe our shit doesn't go out anymore. That's just how it works. All right, so we're going to start shot clock this week with a story that B-Dog brought up earlier. We watched both the Braves and the Dodgers get bounced. Goodbye, see you later, in the first round of the NBA playoffs again this season. Would you rather get bounced, by the way, or never make it at all? Like, is it just worth it to call the season, or would you rather get
financially? I'd
run out of the building
bounced
as the number one seed?
Yeah, I'd rather get bounced.
I really get bounced. Get a playoff check.
Get your playoff check and be done with it. All right.
But
so
mentally, no. I've never lost in the first round, so I wouldn't know what that feels like.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. I've never lost the first round of a playoff series. I have more championships than Tom Brady. Actually, we have the same. All right, so the question is here. The Nuggets, by the way, finally got to the promised land last year for the first time ever after they suffered many painful eliminations. In 10 seconds, how many NBA teams can you name that have never won a title? NBA teams that have never won a title. We'll start with Robert Horry. How many do you think you could do in 10 seconds, Rob?
4.
4.
I think I can do 6.
Oh, he went big. He jumped you.
I think.
Jumped your whole point.
He can go 6. I can't name you 2.
All right. 10 seconds.
What you mean? Wait a minute. Harp, you said you can't name what?
I can name you 2.
All right. Well, Harp, you got to do 6. Here's 10 seconds on the clock. Let's see if we can do it.
Magic, Clippers, Thunder, Hornets, Hawks. I got 5.
You got 5. Man, you should have bet low.
The first team I thought about was Sacramento Kings.
And that was
Kings,
I had it in my head, but I just couldn't
Hornets,
say it.
The Pacers.
Yeah, the Pacers.
The Jazz.
I was thinking. I said my first thought was all expansion teams except for the Heat.
This is true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
So Grizzlies.
Yep, Grizzlies are on there.
But Grizzlies not there anymore. I guess they're the. It's in Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Point goes to Rob.
Dang.
You overbet your hand.
I
man.
did, but I was so close.
I know you were confident.
It just wouldn't come out.
You were confident. You couldn't pull it out. All right, B-Dog. Our friends at Fadeaway World did a ranking of the top 15 number 1 draft picks.
Is this NBA or
NBA draft picks of all time.
Okay.
How many number 1 top 15 NBA draft picks you think you can do in 10 seconds? Guys that went number 1 overall.
6.
Okay, Rob?
7.
Can you do 7?
Yeah.
I think I can do. He said 7.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I know this is because I
sat through all these drafts. You know it. Yeah.
No,
I think I could do 8.
You know what? I'm gonna give you 8 because it's gonna take you a second to get
you only
each
got
name
10
out
seconds.
the damn mouth.
Yeah. All right. Top 15 number 1 draft picks of all time. B-Dog, you got to do 8. Go.
Okay. Kareem, AI, Magic, Shaq, Hakeem, Tim, Kwame Brown, Anthony Davis, David Robinson.
You did 9.
Yeah, 9.
You did 9. Kwame Brown wasn't on the list, but you got the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the number 1 overall pick, but LeBron,
Why didn't you say
You
LeBron?
can miss
Come on
LeBron.
now.
But you got Kareem, you got Duncan, you got Magic, you got Shaq, Hakeem, Oscar Robinson on that list, Elgin Baylor on that list. You got the Admiral, you got AI, Dwight Howard, Patrick Ewing, Bill Walton on that list, Elvin Hayes, and Anthony Davis. So, yeah, you got him.
And Ralph
Nice
Sampson,
job,
the
B.
number one pick.
What's that?
Ralph Sampson was the number one pick, right?
Yeah, he was. He wasn't in the top 15 of this list, though. This was the top 15.
The
top 15 number one picks
of
all time. But he did it. He pulled it out. Good job, B. All right, so we're tied up.
Job, B.
All right, Robert Horry. Suzanne Summers passed away this week at the age of 76. Beautiful woman, sweet woman. She was best known for her classic TV sitcom role on Three's Company. So, in 10 seconds, how many TV sitcoms can you name? Network TV sitcoms. It doesn't have to be from the 70s. It could be any time period.
You know what's so funny? I can't. Okay, I could do 7.
You can do 7 TV sitcoms. Harp, can you come up with 8?
You said you can do 7?
Mm-hmm.
TV sitcoms. Network TV sitcoms.
Go right ahead, sir.
All right, Robert Horry, you got 10 seconds to do 7. Go.
CSI Miami. Who's in the
Those
family?
are not sitcoms, sir.
What? Oh shit!
CSI. Let's stop the clock here. At what point is CSI classified as a situation comedy?
Look, I ain't
What
never
are
laughed
you
my butt off at
doing?
CSI.
What are you to Dateline NBC, Forensic Files? Like, what the fuck
I
are
wasn't
you
even
talking
thinking.
about?
I was just thinking like TV shows. I wasn't even thinking sitcom. It totally
Network
went by my-
TV sitcoms.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to?
All right, Jefferson's.
Well, all right. You want to stick with your bet of 7, or do you want to reassess?
No, I'm gonna stick with my bet.
All right, 7. Go.
Full House. Who's the boss? The Newark guy. God dang it. All in the Family. See, my mind was all
Shut off,
tilted now.
Hey, he didn't say Friends.
No,
I fucking never watched Friends.
Sanford and Sons, the Jeffersons.
You didn't say Living Single.
I would go.
Living Single.
My whole mind was messed up because I just thought.
Yeah, but you pulled Who's the Boss?
Well, you know why I said Who's the Boss?
What
We
about
all loved her growing up. Alyssa Milano, we all loved her growing up.
What about
Yeah.
Blackish?
Blackish,
Yeah.
what a good show.
Yeah,
God,
great
what a good show. What a good
Yeah.
show. I miss Blackish.
I just saw Anthony at that thing we did for Special Forces.
Oh yeah, because he was on Masked Singer.
Yeah,
So they must have been doing some.
He
pub
said he
things.
was going to do. He said he was going to do the podcast. So I got to reach back out.
Oh,
to him.
dude, you have to get
Yeah.
Anthony Anderson on. I would
Mhm.
love that. If we can't get Anthony, get his mama, because
Yeah.
she's a funny, beautiful woman, man. She's
Mhm.
great. Dude, Anthony's the best, man. And Blackish was a good show. Who's the boss? It is amazing to me that of everything in your brain, you pulled Who's the Boss.
I
love
don't know why that popped in my head.
I don't know why either. All right, that point went to Harper. All right, B-Dog. I think the entire world, including all of us on this show, is officially over the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift story.
Mm-hmm.
In 10 seconds, how many NFL tight ends can you name? Past or present, doesn't matter.
I can name. I'll go low because I don't think Rob's gonna be able to do it.
Don't oversell it. You already burned yourself once on that.
I'll do 6.
All right, you'll do 6.
Oh shit!
Rob, can you do 7 NFL tight ends? Any era, any time. Playing today, played yesterday, doesn't matter.
I'll do the current ones.
I'm trying to put them in my head. I'm trying to waste time, man. Go ahead, man. Because all I can think of is Kelsey.
Hold on, how many did I say? I said 6,
You
right?
said 6. All right, here we go. 10 seconds. Do 6. Go.
Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Dallas Goedert, Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry, TJ Hawkinson. I think I went over.
Yeah, you did like 9. I think all of them are active players.
I would say Kettles, Kelsey, Howard Cross.
You wouldn't have said 9, so it don't matter.
I know.
I'm surprised nobody pulled Gronkowski into that. You know what I mean?
Well, all I did was name ones that are currently playing.
Yeah.
Gronk. And what's the guy who went to jail and killed himself?
Oh,
Yeah.
Anthony
Oh,
Hernandez. Alex Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez. Yeah, Aaron Hernandez.
What's the guy from Florida that plays for Atlanta. What's his name?
Oh, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pitts. See, I can tell you the school.
Is he tight end though? He's not a tight end, is he?
He is a tight end, but
Is he?
he's a
They play him more like a receiver.
receiver. But no, he's a tight end though.
How about the football world's about to be turned upside down now that Georgia's best player is hurt? Had to have
Brock
surgery.
Bowers is
Oh,
out.
Brock Bowers is out to 4 to 6 weeks.
Speaking of tight ends, Brock Bowers is out. Is that the same surgery that Tua had for Alabama at that time?
The tightrope surgery, whatever
Yeah.
it is for his ankle. I don't know if that's what Tua had.
Yeah. Because that's when they put like a screw in it. And yeah.
But the craziest thing is it was for a high ankle sprain? I didn't know that you had surgery for a high ankle sprain.
It depends on the severity and the stretch of the ligaments. There may be some torn ligaments in there that need repairing.
Yeah, because that's what they did with Tua. I think that's exactly what Tua had when he was there. And he came back and was. Well, yeah, that's going to hurt Georgia. That's going to hurt them.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, they're gonna have to overcome that for sure. Yeah. All right, last question. We will wrap up Shot Clock, and stick around if you want to hear last week's Lost in Space version of the NBA emoji game, which was very funny. Jada Pinkett, this is for Rob. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith announced this week that they've been separated since 2016. Jada said the biggest shock of the infamous slap was that Will called her his wife. Okay, so apparently they haven't been together for quite a while, but they are still together. In 10 seconds, how many Will Smith movies can you name?
5.
All right, Harp, in 10 seconds, Will Smith movies.
6.
But here's the thing that I don't understand about this whole situation.
Here we go. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there because it's like, so how many you say 5?
I said 6.
He said 6. Here's a ploy for me to buy some time while I think of more Will Smith movies.
I would say 7.
You're going to do 7? Harp, can you do 8?
I'm going to let him have 7.
All right, Rob, you got 10 seconds.
I could do 8, but I'm going to let him have 7.
To do 7 Will Smith movies, go.
Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3, MIB 1, 2, Suicide Squad, iRobot, King Richard, and I Am Legend.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, it's good. Nice job. Yeah, you got like 9. That's pretty strong. Good job.
Hey,
well done.
I forgot about it. I'm like, okay, MIB 1 and 2. Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3.
Technically, you could have gone MIB 1, 2, and 3 because he did do 3 of those movies. I never saw
the best for last. I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Good movie. I can't watch the part with the dog.
Oh,
where he has to put the dog down.
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Oh, they got 2 coming out. Did you see that?
I heard about that, but how?
Yes. I don't know, but they got 2 coming out. Yeah.
Is he in it? He can't be in it.
I think he's in it.
He died at the end of the first movie.
I think he's in. I don't know, but I heard it. I had to check out.
Unless he didn't die, and it was like, yeah. But I can't watch the part where he has to put the dog to sleep.
Yeah.
Kill the dog because he got bit.
You know what's like a good movie by him that I watched that nobody talks about?
What's that?
Is Bright.
Bright wasn't bad.
Yeah,
Bright wasn't. It was very different. It's on Netflix if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's about like trolls and magic and stuff. It's out there, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, Enemy of the State was one of my favorite ones too.
Enemy of the State's a good movie. Underrated movie. Gene Hackman. Yeah.
A small trade has happened in NBA.
Oh, okay. Close the show with some breaking news before we get to the emoji.
Rockets are trading Kevin Porter Jr. and 2 future second-round picks to the Thunder, and Houston is getting back. They'll land Victor Oladipo.
Wasn't he there before?
Probably so.
I think so.
But here's the thing: Kevin Porter will probably be waived.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got all kinds of problems. Right
Yeah,
they're probably waived.
He got all kinds of issues right now with Porter. I'm not surprised. I figured they were just gonna drop him. I didn't realize they would trade him.
Yeah.
But they knew that. But they knew they had to package. The Houston had to package them 2 second-round picks to get rid of it.
Yeah.
They had to do that.
Yeah. How is Oladipo's health? Is he back healthy? Because I haven't really heard a lot from him last couple seasons. I feel so bad
for him. I've always, he had that
was such a baller.
And then the injuries come out.
And then the knee, I think, right? Wasn't it the knee?
Yeah, it's the knee they couldn't get right.
Yeah. He did that in the playoffs, right before the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah. And it's like, there's nothing worse than watching a guy that talented have an injury he just can't get over. That just sucks, man.